last, my arm is complete again.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Johnny Depp performances. For this list, we're looking at the best showings this chameleonic actor has given on the silver screen over his career so far. Which of these is your favorite? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Ichabod Crane, Sleepy Hollow.
Who's there?
We're going to be seeing a lot of Tim Burton movies on this list, so what better way to start than with one of their most entertaining collaborations? Up to this point, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow had not yet had a definitive live-action adaptation, but Burton and Depp definitely met expectations with this gothic 1999 take. While the focus of this one is on theatrics and spooky vibes, Depp accentuates the proceedings well with an energy-matching performance that's eminently fun to watch.
You must not excite yourself.
But it was a headless horseman.
Of course it was. That's why you're here.
No, you must believe me. It was a horseman, a dead one. Headless.
I know.
You don't know because you were not there. It's all true.
Though Ichabod Crane classically can come off nebbish and off-putting, Depp fits the role perfectly in a way that's both grounded and quirky. Number 19, W. Eugene Smith, Minamata. Johnny Depp went through a lot of personal turmoil around the turn of the 2020s, and his career suffered for it. However, he did see a return of positive reviews with the release of Minamata, a biopic about photojournalist W. Eugene Smith. The movie focuses on Smith's 1970s documenting of the mercury poisoning orchestrated by the Chiso Chemical Company in the titular Japanese city.
So that sounds to me, Bob, like, yeah, time is of the essence. And you know that the cover-up is going to be as much of a story as the story itself.
As Smith, Depp turns in one of his most understated performances, effectively reflecting the seriousness of the issue. The grizzled portrayal is unlike much of what we've seen from Depp, and could signal an equally intriguing second half of his career.
So you go on, play the music. I'm not really sure if I can hear it anymore.
Number 18, Victor Van Dort, Corpse Bride. Johnny Depp has a voice made for animation, and it frankly took too long before we saw his debut in the medium with 2005's Corpse Bride.
With this candle, I will light your way in darkness. With this ring, I ask you to be mine.
Through a series of mishaps, Depp's Victor finds himself accidentally wed to the titular revenant. Much like Ichabod Crane, Victor is a mild-mannered, studious man, but even more so, as his neurotic nature has Depp pulling double duty in the diction department.
I've got a dwarf, and I'm not afraid to use him. I want some questions, now.
Answers. I think you mean answers.
Thank you, yes, answers. I need answers!
Like any Tim Burton movie, Corpse Bride is visually inspired, this time with some darkly beautiful stop-motion animation, but Depp's effervescent voice work elevates the material that much more. Number 17, Rue, Chocolat. This too often forgotten box office hit is utterly delectable, and we're not just talking about the chocolate. Indeed, Johnny Depp's performance as River Rat Rue is downright swoon-worthy.
Are you the Catholic Aid Society, French Family League, Communist Workers? Which idea are you selling?
Chocolate.
I'm sorry, chocolate?
What's a river rat? Is it like a pirate?
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
While much of the ardent passion underlying the characters in Chocolat is somewhat reserved, Depp and co-star Juliette Binoche's romantic chemistry is absolutely electric.
Your way must be harder. Each time having to make a new home from scratch.
Well, maybe this time I'll get it right.
What do you mean?
Maybe I'll stay.
Much like smooth, hot chocolate, Rue is as entrancing as he is mysterious. Though his lifestyle may be off the beaten path, or any path for that matter, Rue is more kind-hearted than many of the local villagers, and Depp displays that warmth brilliantly.
I thought you'd never guess. My favorite hot chocolate.
Number 16, Terrence Hightope, aka the Mad Hatter, the Alice in Wonderland franchise.
Absolutely, Alice. I'd know you anywhere. I'd know him anywhere.
The live-action Alice in Wonderland movies are messy, to say the least. Whereas most Tim Burton movies find a healthy balance between narrative and visual splendor, these ones, of which Burton directed the first, are far too reliant on green screen technology and CGI. That said, there are some performances here that keep things appropriately chipper. One of which being Johnny Depp's portrayal of the Mad Hatter.
You're not the same as you were before. You were much more muchier. You've lost your muchness.
While the classic character has been interpreted in a myriad of ways, Depp's version is undeniably one of the most kooky. It may not be your cup of tea, but you gotta admit that Depp demands your attention with quirky idiosyncrasies and an admirable amount of energy.
Hatter, why is a raven like a writing desk?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Number 15. John Dillinger, Public Enemies.
My friends call me John. But a son of a bitch screw like you better address me as Mr. Dillinger.
Many of Johnny Depp's most notable protagonists come off lighthearted and whimsical. But while John Dillinger is definitely the protagonist of the Michael Mann crime drama Public Enemies, he is anything but lighthearted. Indeed, heretofore we hadn't seen a Depp character be quite so intimidating. But credit Depp for taking a notorious gangster like Dillinger and making him so hypnotically mystifying that we can't help but root for him.
The only thing important is where somebody's going.
Where are you going?
Anywhere I want.
Complemented by Mann's grounded filmmaking techniques, Depp's performance here remains one that exemplifies his versatility as an actor. It wouldn't be the last time he played a real-life criminal, but it's definitely one of the more memorable. Number 14. Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello.
Let's just get this one out of the way. Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka this is not. But rather than try to replicate perfection, Depp and company set out to do something completely different. And different it definitely is.
You can eat the grass.
Of course you can. Everything in this room is eatable. Even I'm eatable. But that is called cannibalism, my dear children, and is in fact frowned upon in most societies.
Granted, there is a vocal community that's decidedly against this movie, but it's hard to argue against the level of commitment Depp is putting into this characterization. Sure, his Wonka is extremely off-putting, but it somewhat fits the tone Tim Burton set out to establish. Plus, Depp does a good job of suffusing Wonka with an underlying layer of sadness as the film goes to greater strides to unpack his character.
All these years, and you haven't flossed.
Not once.
It's not everyone's favorite flavor, but for those open to something alternative, it might just hit the spot. Number 13. Rango. With all due respect to Victor Van Dort, Rango is the animated character Depp was born to play, though few of us would have ever expected it.
You're funny looking.
Well, you're funny looking too.
That's a funny looking shirt.
It's a funny looking dress.
You got funny looking eyes.
You got a funny looking face.
With computer animation so detailed it'll make your jaw drop, Rango is not your typical kids movie. Some might argue it's not even a kids movie at all, but one thing it definitely gets right is Depp's portrayal of the timid title chameleon forced way out of his element.
All right, folks, stand back, clear the area. This is a crime scene now. Secure the perimeter, dust for prints, check for fibers, scan for DNA. I want a urine sample from everyone and get me a latte. Don't mix up the two.
No one could have played Rango but Depp, so much so that the character was made to resemble another on this list. But it's Depp's mannerisms and idiosyncrasies that shine through the animation, giving us a character we can identify with and admire all the same. Number 12. George Young, Blow. Another crime drama from Johnny's back catalog, Blow has persevered as something of a cult favorite in recent years, and for good reason.
In all honesty, I don't feel that what I've done is a crime. And I think it's illogical and irresponsible for you to sentence me to prison. Because when you think about it, what did I really do? I crossed an imaginary line with a bunch of plants.
While its sprawling biopic approach to George Young is a little old hat, Depp's performance, alongside a solid ensemble cast, keeps it thoroughly watchable. If anything, Blow serves as a solid character study, presenting Young as a tragic figure who gets in the business to avoid a life of poverty, only to continually get burned by it. In this sense, it's in the third act that Depp particularly shines, displaying regret for the impact his lifestyle has had on his family.
I want to be your dad again. I just want to walk with you if you don't mind. I want to make everything okay.
It's a subtle performance, but definitely one of Depp's most underrated. Number 11, Wade Crybaby Walker. Crybaby. If you thought that Johnny Depp and Tim Burton made for an eccentric match made in movie heaven, just wait until you see his collaboration with John Waters.
Grandmother, Uncle Belvedere, you've made me the happiest juvenile delinquent in Baltimore. And guess what? I met a girl!
In what's also become a cult classic, Depp plays Wade Crybaby Walker, a 50s greaser type whose ability to shed a single tear makes all the girls go wild. It's only when he falls in love for real that sends the town into a real frenzy.
One single salty tear is all they'll ever suck out of this crybaby.
Though his character is still a heartthrob of sorts, Crybaby's subversion of recognizable archetypes helped set Depp apart from his 21 Jump Street days, and down the path of movie stardom we all know him for today. Number 10. J.M. Barrie, Finding Neverland. There's something about the whimsicality of Johnny Depp and Peter Pan that just goes hand in hand. But instead of having him in an adaptation of The Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up, we got this delightfully affecting story about the character's creator, J.M. Barrie.
What's it like? Neverland.
One day I'll take you there.
Finding Neverland as a whole is a tricky act to pull off. It needs to be fantastical enough to capture the spirit of Peter Pan, and poignant enough to support the emotionality underlying it, but not so much that it becomes saccharine. At the crux of this dilemma is Barrie's portrayal, and thankfully, Depp nailed every beat thrown his way, more than earning his second Oscar nomination.
She went to Neverland. And you can visit her anytime you like. If you just go there yourself.
Number 9. Sam, Benny and June. The 90s are chock full of hidden Depp gems, but perhaps none so hidden and gem-like than Benny and June. Here, Depp plays Sam, an eccentric cinephile whose irresistible personality wins over almost every character.
And if I can't have him, no one can, not even you. You didn't have to buy that same dress. But you were my sister, Cindy. I'm sorry about me and Brad.
While quirky Johnny Depp characters are nothing new and weren't even back in 1993, this one is remembered for his physicality, as Sam embodies silent film stars like Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton. Again, we've known for a long time that he could be just as expressive with his physicality as his voice or facial expressions, but it's heartening to see how present he was so early in his career. We'd love nothing more than to see a silent comedy film starring Johnny Depp. Number 8. Whitey Bulger, Black Mass. There's not quite as many memorable Johnny Depp performances from the 2010s as previous decades, but if there's one that had us standing at attention, it was the one from Black Mass.
You follow?
Yes, I follow. Punch people when no one's looking.
That's exactly right. If nobody sees it, didn't happen.
Again playing a notorious real-life criminal, this time Depp stars as Whitey Bulger, a prolific crime boss and FBI informant who operated in the greater Boston area in the late 20th century. While the movie as a whole might have come in under expectations, Depp did not disappoint, with many critics calling it his best work in years. He completely disappears into the role, giving quite possibly his scariest performance to date.
I thought it was a family secret.
It's a recipe.
No.
Number 7. Gilbert Grape. What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
You're gonna tell me, and then I'm gonna take care of it for you, right? And why will I take care of it? Gilbert. Who you're Gilbert? Because I'm Gilbert.
Despite playing the namesake character, Johnny Depp isn't always the first thing you think of when you think of What's Eating Gilbert Grape. That'll happen when you're working alongside a fresh-faced Leonardo DiCaprio in a much showier role. But we'd be remiss not to highlight the incredible work on display here from Depp, who is given the Herculean task of anchoring the proceedings.
I'm not gonna let it be a joke.
In such an emotionally raw yet understated movie, it needs a nuanced performance like Depp's to subtly convey much of the sentiment going through Gilbert's head, and Depp does so with aplomb.
I want a new brain for Arnie.
What do you want for you? Just for you.
I want to be a good person.
Number 6, Joseph D. Pistone, aka Donnie Brasco. Donnie Brasco.
What is that?
Forget about it. It's like, if you agree with someone, you know, like Raquel Welch's One Great Piece of Ass, forget about it.
In what has to be one of the most underrated crime movies out there, Donnie Brasco sees Depp play the titular undercover FBI agent. Real name, Joe Pistone. Also, based on a true story, the movie chronicles Pistone's infiltration of the Bonanno crime family under the Brasco alias. Along the way, he befriends hitman Lefty Ruggiero, played by Al Pacino, and begins to question if he's absorbing his criminal persona a bit too much.
Like he wasn't a rat.
We don't mention his name, all right? That's what we said. We don't mention his name.
Yeah. Tell yourself whatever you have to left.
Much like how Pacino has to play uncharacteristically grounded, Depp similarly holds his own in a role that demands refinement. So good is he at playing cop and crook that we too begin to wonder where Pistone ends and Brasco begins.
I'm not becoming like that, Maggie. I am them.
Number 5, Benjamin Barker, aka Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street.
Benjamin Barker!
Depp has surprised us plenty of times, but perhaps none more so than when he played Sweeney Todd. Not only did he reveal a fine singing voice, but he managed to nail Sondheim, something that is notoriously difficult to do.
They all deserve to die. Tell you why, Mrs. Lovitz, tell you why.
While Tim Burton movies have always had a dourness to them, they've seldom gone this far into outright horror territory. Thankfully, Johnny Depp proved more than able to meet this expectation, embodying the character's darkness in a way we hadn't seen from him before. We fully buy Todd's tragic downfall and can't help but root for him during his path to retribution, bloody though it may be.
Forget my face.
Number 4, Ed Wood. Ed Wood.
This is the one. This is the one I'll be remembered for.
And now for something completely different. When it comes to casting someone as eccentric as Ed Wood, who's been called one of the worst film directors of all time, you can't just get any actor. You need someone who can match Wood's errant weirdness without sacrificing any of the nuance. Thankfully, Tim Burton and company knew this and went back to their sure bet, Johnny Depp.
That was perfect. Perfect. Mr. Wood, do you know anything about the art of film production?
Well, I like to think so.
Depp is definitely over the top playing Wood. Perhaps the most over the top he's ever been. But damned if it doesn't work in spades as he demands audience attention from start to finish. And while Depp has given us plenty of funny characters since, they can essentially all be traced back here.
Hey! Cops! We don't have a permit. Run!
Number 3, Raoul Duke, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Suddenly, there was a terrible roar all around us, and the sky was full of what looked like huge bats, all swooping and screeching and diving around the car. And a voice was screaming, "Holy Jesus, where are these goddamn animals?"
Another financial flop at the time of release, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas has gone on to be a quintessential cult classic. And a lot of that is thanks to Johnny Depp's absolutely batty performance. Here, he plays Raoul Duke, a stand-in for writer Hunter S. Thompson, whose novel serves as the basis for the film.
A drug person can learn to cope with things like seeing their dead grandmother crawling up their leg with a knife in her teeth. But nobody should be asked to handle this trip.
Though the plot is unwieldy as Duke and his companion traverse the titular city of sin in a drug-fueled haze, the connective tissue holding it all together is Depp's meticulously acted portrayal. Not only did Depp study Thompson's mannerisms for months in preparation, but the writer even beforehand said he couldn't see anyone else in the role. High praise, and well-deserved to boot.
Stay calm. Stay calm. I'm a relatively respectable citizen. Multiple felon, perhaps, but Certainly not dangerous.
Number 2, Edward Scissorhands. Edward Scissorhands.
What's your name?
Edward?
Edward? I think you should just come home with me.
This marks the first pairing between Depp and director Tim Burton, and remains arguably their best. Depp is virtually unrecognizable as the eponymous monstrosity, but his acting talents are on full display nonetheless.
Grab your plates. Soup served.
I thought this was Isabel.
What?
I thought this was Isabel.
Yeah, it is shish kebab. It was a figure of speech, Ed. You gotta learn not to take things so literally.
Another quietly demanding role, Edward Scissorhands could have come off as mawkish, but Depp manages to muster all the sympathy he needs from the audience with an incredible amount of pathos and heart. While Edward is by far one of Depp's more taciturn characters, he manages to say so much with simple facial expressions and body language. Seriously, if anyone ever doubted Depp's ability, they need only watch this movie.
Goodbye.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Jack Sparrow, the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise.
There should be a captain in there somewhere.
Of course, Captain Jack Sparrow. We all pretty much knew it was only a matter of time before Johnny Depp got recognition from the Academy, but few could have guessed it would come with a blockbuster based on an amusement park ride. Such is the perfect marriage between character and actor, though, as Johnny Depp was absolutely born to play savvy and wisecracking swashbuckler Jack Sparrow. Indeed, he stole every scene in the first installment, so much so that it essentially became his franchise.
You'll never make it out of the bay. Son, I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Savvy?
From his mannerisms to his voice work to his characterization, everything clicks here. Even as the future of the franchise remains up in the air, it is impossible to see anyone else as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Drink up, me hearties, yo-ho.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.